Hello and welcome to Teacher Teacher. In today's topic, we are going to talk about ELT in general. So the questions in this video will cover actually two areas: ELT, English language teaching in general, and about the learner types, learner styles. So there are 10 questions for you, and I will give you enough time to think about the questions, and then we will check the answers together. So let's see, and let's test your knowledge of ELT in general and the learner types. If you're ready, we can begin with the first question. So I will read the question uh, or not. I will give you time to read the question and guess the answer, then we will check together. So let's get started. Okay, I guess you're done. Let's check the answer. If you need more time, you can pause the video while you already know that. So the question says, which teaching approach focuses primarily on real communication rather than simply producing accurate language? So we're searching for a teaching approach that focuses on communication. So I guess the answer is clear. That's B, communicative language teaching, or CLT. In CLT, we don't forget about accuracy, but our main focus is in fluency. So we provide situations that students communicate with each other, and of course, we will deal with accuracy in the proper time, but the focus is on fluency. So the answer is CLT, communicative language teaching. So let's look at the next question. Okay. According to Krashen's learning versus acquisition distinction, learners acquire language more naturally when they receive comprehensible input in a low anxiety environment. So is it true or false? Well, that's true. So we can understand that we have two tasks to do. First, we need to provide comprehensible enough input, the input that students need, and we should provide it in a low anxiety environment where when the students are not stressed, so they are in an environment that they feel they can learn English with no pressure. So we need to reduce the pressure and provide enough input. So let's go to the next question. So for this time, I will give you more time. You can match the items, then we will check together. Okay, so if you need more time, you can pause the video. Let's check with L1. So L1, that's what we call mother tongue. So I am from Iran. My L1 is Persian. So that's clear. Interlanguage is C, language between L1 and target language. So imagine you are a native speaker of Spanish and you want to learn English. So in Spanish, when you want to talk, when you want to say your age, you will say, for example, tengo 20 años. Tengo means I have. 20 años, 20 years. So, as an A1 student, it is very common that they translate word by word from their own language to English. That is what we call interlanguage. So, you may hear from a Spanish student saying, I have 20 years, because that's how they say in their own language. And the last one, emergent language. This is language that appears naturally during a lesson. It means that's unplanned language. Let's say a grammar point that you didn't plan to work on in the classroom, but it happens during the lesson. So You may spend only a few seconds on that as a correction, for example, but this is totally new to you as well. I mean, by new, I mean you didn't have a plan to go through it, but you teach that special content only because it emerges in the classroom at the moment. So that's it. Let's move on to next question. Okay. A teacher spends most of the lesson explaining grammar rules while students mostly listen and take notes. Which principle is being neglected? So let's see. A teacher is explaining grammar, so TTT is high, and students are taking notes. Strong classroom management, learner-centered teaching, language awareness, reflective practice. So I guess you agree with me that the answer is B, learner-centered teaching, because here TTT is so high, the teacher is like a lecturer lecturing things for a long time and students listening and taking notes. So this type of learning is not learner-centered actually. So let's move on to the next question. So I guess, well, if you answered the previous question correctly, so you will have this one correct as well. Which option does not describe a good language teacher? Yeah, that's a teacher who dominates all classroom talk. So uh, too much TTT, yeah, will ruin the lesson actually. Uh, will ruin communications and fluency of the students as well. So let's move on to our next question. So I gave more time for this. You can pause if you need even more. The question says, which learner is most likely to have instrumental motivation? So, instrumental motivation is the type of motivation that is from outside, okay, not from yourself, from the student himself. So let's look at the answer. An employee is studying English to get promoted. Well, if you check the other options, you can see some sort of internal motivation, okay? But this one, an employee is studying English to get promoted, means they don't study English because they like it necessarily, because they love to know about the language, the culture, blah, blah. They study it because they need more money. So the student wants to get promoted in the job to earn more salary. So this type of motivation that comes from outside, not from inside, we call them instrumental motivation. Good. Let's take a look at the next question. So the CFR framework classifies learners from, well, that's clear, A1 to C2. Just a quick point, if you maybe you say why not a beginner to advanced? Well, we are talking about how this framework classifies them and identifies students. So in CFR, yes, A1 means, for example, beginner, starter, whatever, but we only use it. We only use A1 to C2, A1, A2 in CFR. This is something like the IELTS test, for example. we use only numbers. 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5. Yes, when somebody is, for example, 9, we know that that equals C2, but we don't say I have C2 IELTS. We say I have IELTS 9. Okay, so that's it. In CEFR, we don't say elementary, pre-intermediate, whatever. We say A1 to C2. Good. And next question. Okay. So the question says, which activity would best support communicative language teaching CLT? So which one is more uh, related to CLT? And well, the answer is students interviewing classmates about their hobbies. So they communicate with each other, they talk with each other in a task that you have created. So the answer is C. And let's look at our next question. Okay. So which statement is not correct? Yeah, the answer is C. Emergent language is always planned before the lesson. We had it in previous slides, if you remember, said that emergent language is not planned. You didn't think of it before the lesson. It just happens inside the lesson. For example, your lesson is not about simple present and verb endings, but your student says, "Teacher, she go to school every day." This is a sentence that is produced by the student during a freer practice, a controlled practice during the lesson. So, well, you weren't you're not supposed, and you didn't have any plans to teach verb endings uh, in this lesson. But since the student makes that mistake, so you will correct it, probably not on the spot, but you will have a delayed correction on that. That is called emergent language. And let's take a look at the last question. So we had a similar question in previous slides. That's why I guess you already have the answer. The correct option, that is A, their instrumental motivation. So the student is studying because they are looking for promotion, more salary. So this is instrumental motivation. What does that mean? It means when I'm planning lessons, I should pay attention to this. So uh, I don't need to focus on, for example, the beauty of American or British culture. Okay, they don't care. So, but they care how to they like to learn more vocabulary about related to their job so that they can use it actually and to show off their language capabilities to get promoted. So, if you know the real motivation of the students, this helps you plan lessons that they really need. So they will improve faster, and you will showcase your capabilities. So I hope this lesson was helpful for you. If you need more help with any of these, well, you can pick the keywords like CLT, like instrumental motivation. These keywords from the lesson can help you go and further study about them. Thank you. Take care. Have fun.